From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the Kern County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy, and our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
We're ready.
Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Peters?
Here.
Supervisor Parlier? Supervisor Flores?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Perez?
Here.
Thank you. Welcome and good morning. Today we have the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors for Tuesday, July 14th. And we're going to begin with our salute to the flag. And today I would like to invite our Veteran Services Director, Jose Lopez, as well as Mr. Richard Nelson up. Richard Nelson was born and raised in Bakersfield, graduated from South High, and enlisted in the Marines in 1990. He served not only in Desert Storm, but also in Operation Restore Hope from 1992 to 93, which was a mission to establish a secure environment for the delivery of humanitarian aid, as hundreds of thousands of Somalis were dying from mass starvation caused by civil war and hijacked food supplies. He also served at Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. from 1995 to 1998 as part of Camp David's presidential security under President Clinton. His continued education includes a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, as well as a Master's of Public Administration from CSU Bakersfield. After transitioning from the Marines, he worked a few private sector jobs while making his way back to Bakersfield. This included his duties as IT Support Services Manager at Kern County Superintendent of Schools and the Director of IT Support Services at CSUB for about 8 years prior to his current role leading the Kern County IT Operations Team. Richard is excited to help drive the Kern County IT Operations Team to new and improved levels of customer service with an emphasis on customer experience, specifically focusing on making it easier for customers to receive IT support. Thank you very much for your service, sir, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, next we're going to ask Deputy Director of Animal Services, Melissa Wells, to come join us and introduce our Pet of the Week.
He is feisty.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Who do we have here today?
Chairman Peters, members of the board. This is Blackie. He came to us as an owner surrender. His owner was no longer able to care for him. As you can see, he's very talkative. I think you all heard him this morning. Super confident little guy. He's about 3 years old, and he's available for adoption at Kern County Animal Services.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming down, Blackie, and good luck getting adopted. And man, yeah, I like your confidence. Appreciate
He's
it.
definitely good with that.
Thank you. Okay, and now as we start moving into the agenda, just a reminder, today begins the implementation of SB 707, including procedures for remote participation. As you can tell, he's excited about it too. All individuals wishing to speak, whether attending in person or remotely, must register before they are allowed to address the board. If you have not registered yet and wish to speak, you can find QR codes located at the back of the chambers. County staff will also be available to assist you. And additionally, registration is available through the County Board Agenda website. When it's your turn to speak, the clerk will call your name. If you're attending in person, Please come down to the lectern once your name is called, and for participants joining by phone, your line will be unmuted after your name is announced, and then it will be your opportunity to speak. So just a little change in procedures just to make everybody aware of how it's gonna start working. So next we'll go to the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or C above the item are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. The CA represents the consent agenda for the Board of Supervisors. The C represents the consent agenda for the Kern Sanitation Authority, Ford City Taft Heights Sanitation District, or IHSS Public Authority. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion. If members of the audience wish to comment or ask questions regarding an item or items on the consent agenda, they may do so prior to a vote being taken. Members of the board may remove any item from the consent agenda and it will be considered in listed sequence, with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. Members of the public may also comment on any closed session items. The consent items include items 1 as well as 6 through 11 on page 2, items 12 through 14 as well as 17 through 19 on page 3, items 20 through 27 on page 4, 28 through 35 on page 5, 36 through 44 on page 6, 45 through 52 on page 7, 53 through 60 on page 8, 61 through 67 on page 9, 68 through 74 on page 10, 75 through 81 on page 11, 82 through 90 on page 12, and item number 91 on page 13. So rather lengthy consent calendar today. Are there any members of the board that would like to make comment on the consent agenda?
Chairman, I want to ask for a comment from our Director of DHS, Lito Murillo, on 77, but I don't need to pull it from the calendar.
Okay, we'll ask if Lito can come down and.
Is that okay? Madam Attorney? We do it that way? Okay. Mr. Murillo, I had a couple calls about this one. This is the extension of a contract that I think stems from the Mata case. Is that correct?
Supervisor Couch, through the chair, Lito Murillo, your Director of Human Services. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so answer this criticism, which I know you can. These guys just want more money, and I'm supportive of this. I'm supportive of your effort, but I want you to just lay out in simple terms. I think mostly it's the second half of paragraph 2 of your board letter says it, but can you flesh that out just a little bit?
Sure. Supervisor Couch, through the chair. So this contract allows SPI, Social Policy Institute, to come back before your board, which we plan to do July 28th, with a full presentation of their recommendations and findings as it relates to the independent review that was done on the child welfare services system here in Kern County. So as it relates to the actual size of the contract, this is an extension for another $200,000. I think I just want to point out, just to put it in context, the total amount of the contract for the first year and the second year is about $400,000. Now, if you recall, in 2006, and it's important to know it's 2006, but the Department of Human Services had a similar review done by Child Welfare League of America. The total cost of that contract was about a little over $300,000. So when you talk about inflation to where we're at now, it's within reason in terms of cost of doing this type of work.
And the work doesn't extend just through our next meeting, which is in a couple of weeks. It's through June 30th of next year.
That's correct. So part of this exercise is to ensure that the recommendation and findings that they come out with are something that the department will implement to fidelity. So our intent by extending this contract is to ensure that they still are part of that implementation phase of all the recommendations that they're making.
All right, I appreciate the explanation. Thank you very much. So, Chairman, I'd like to make a motion on consent.
Thank you. Supervisor Perez, did you want to make a comment as well?
Lito, I'm sorry. Can you come back? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Supervisor Couch, thank you for the issue. It's a confusing matter, and there are many aspects to this case. And what has been perceived by some members of the public is that the actual criminal case itself is being put off for a year for reasons that are unclear. Does this process that you're engaged in have any implication, any impact on the actual criminal case that's pending?
So Supervisor Perez, through the chair, the review in of itself has nothing to do with the criminal case that's going on.
And you're not reviewing just this case, you're reviewing, or the review that's being conducted is of the system at large, the overarching issues within the department, if you will.
That is correct. The SPI team, or Social Policy Institute, did a random review of various cases.
Okay. So the members of the public should not fear that a criminal case is being put off unnecessarily for a year. I understand that doesn't make sense to you and I per se, but that has been things have been communicated through the press and they're confusing. And so I just want to clarify and be very, very clear that DA's office is conducting their operation. It's not related to what you're doing, and they should not impact each other negatively.
Supervisor Perez, you're absolutely correct. They're totally separate matters.
Thank you very much, Lita.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Perez. Any other questions or comments from the board regarding the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'm sorry, we're not calling up
No, I have a question. Did you remove, you go so fast that people can't understand. So is item number 60 removed?
No,
Okay, that's all I wanted to make sure. And
thank you. Okay.
Can I add something?
Sure.
No, it has not been removed, and if you want to speak on the consent matter, the time to do so is now. We're not going to do it later.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think, well, we're going to start off with anybody that's registered to speak on the consent agenda, if that's correct.
Yes. So our first speaker would be Julia Moreno. Did you register to speak on consent?
The lady told me, can I read in Spanish? And she read
Yeah,
in
Theodore's
English.
coming right now.
Oh, thanks. Buenos días, supervisores. Mi nombre es Julie Moreno y soy la dueña de un negocio en Lamont, California. Hoy estoy aquí ante ustedes para solicitar ayuda con un problema actual de cumplimiento del código que ha escalado al punto que me enviaron un aviso de que van a demoler mis modulares que tienen la licencia adecuada en mi propiedad. Estoy aquí para solicitar ayuda con la propuesta de la demolición de este departamento y pedir ayuda para concederme la reunión adecuada para discutir en detalle todas las colaboraciones interinstitucionales que han estado trabajando conmigo para complementar este proyecto.
I'm going to go ahead and read what she has written in English. My name is Yuli Moreno, and I am a business owner in Lamont, California. I am here before you today to request assistance with ongoing code enforcement issues that have escalated to them mailing me a notice that they will be demolishing my modulars that are permitted on my property. I am here to request your assistance with this department's proposal of demolition and to grant me the appropriate meeting to discuss in detail all the cross-agency collaborations that have been working with me to complete this project.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. So this portion right now, this is just the time for public comment regarding the consent items. So, yeah, so if it's specific to the consent calendar, this would be the time to speak. If not, public comment will be coming up shortly. Is there anybody that's registered to speak regarding the consent calendar?
So our next speaker is David Freeman.
Sure, Supervisor Couch.
Can I, since she mentioned Lamont, which is in the 4th District, could I have her give her contact info to Ms. Martinez? Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson and members of the board. My name is David Freeman, and I'm here with my mother, excuse me. We lost our home at 219 Bell Avenue to a fire, and our experience since has revealed a dangerous gap in our community's safety net.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, but if this is specific to an item that's on the consent agenda, that's the time for that. Okay, yeah, I think this might be under public comment, what you're wanting to share. This is just for particular items. Sorry, this is kind of a new system of calling people up, so there might be some confusion.
Well, I'm saying is that the house next to us, which was 221 Bell Avenue, it had a series of being burnt twice, 3 times. Third time, including our home that caught excuse me, spread to causing our home to be on fire. When I saw the fire spreading towards, we called the fire department, but it took 10 minutes for them to come here for emergency services. And when it spread, it already consumed our home. And also that we was left without a home. We had the Red Cross come, and their support lasted for 2 weeks. We appreciated that. And also, we appreciate that, but when it ended, we was going to find support to those like Flood Ministries, CPAC. They pretty much turned us away because they was at full capacity. And we've been bouncing from motel to motel, and until we relied on our funds until it dried up. And for the last 3 days, we had to live in our car. And we lived in our car, and through generosity of our church, we appreciate what they've done. They have us in a motel room for right now, and that is not a full solution. What we're asking for is that just a home for my mom to live her golden years in dignity and respect, and myself, I like to find a place where I could finish my education and also go along with my own future.
Understood. Well, I'm very sorry for your loss. That's a very difficult situation. But if you wouldn't mind, would you leave your contact information, either with our CAO, Ms. Anderson, or you could go up to my office on the 5th floor, and we'll get in touch with you and see if there's something we can do to help you find a solution.
Yes, but we also like to see about that area being investigated, and also see about to our landlord. Our landlord locked us out. We got out some of our items, but most of it's been difficult to get out there because of the damage that fire has done.
Understood. Well, we'll if you could leave your contact information, we'll get in touch with you, and we'll be happy to meet with you and see what we can do.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I will ask our clerk of the board. Okay. Okay, those are all our registered comments right now, including on the phones. Okay. Okay, that being said, that concludes the public comment portion of the consent agenda. We had a motion from Supervisor Couch. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, and this was my fault. We've got kind of a new system we're working with here, and I actually skipped over a report on action taken in closed session from Tuesday, June 30th. Thank you for catching that, and I will ask if our County Counsel Kendra Graham could give that report.
Yes, thank you. So good morning. On Tuesday, June 30th, following the AM agenda, your board heard items 25 and 26 in closed session, and there were no reportable actions taken.
Thank you. Okay. That brings us to item number 2 under resolutions and proclamations. And items number 2 and 3 will be presented by Supervisor Flores. So maybe we could take these as one motion. It would be a resolution honoring Cherie Miller from Department of Human Services upon her retirement with 35 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern, as well as a resolution honoring Monique Hawkins from the Department of Human Services upon her retirement with 29 years of dedicated service.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll make a motion on items 2 and 3.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
She's too young to retire. Good morning, everybody. These are very special. We always do proclamations and certificates and what have you, but this is a very special resolution from our Board of Supervisors. These we don't do as often. So in recognition of the valuable service to the county of Kern and improving the human condition. I'm going to read the entire resolution that captures the dedicated public service career of Ms. Cherie Miller, who began her career with the Department of Human Services on December 30th, 1991 as a typist clerk 1-2 position, later reclassified to office services technician. Early in her career, Ms. Miller worked to the Welfare to Work program in partnership with Curtis and Associates, helping individuals transition from public assistance to self-sufficiency through job training, education, and employment support. Stationed at DHS North Chester Career Service Center, she played a key role in one-stop shop service model, supporting clients and collaborating with partner agencies, including Employment Development Department, Community Connection for Child Care, and Mental Health Services, providing coordinated and effective services to our community. In 2008, Ms. Miller joined the DHS outreach team, helping to develop morale-building activities for staff and supporting numerous community awareness initiatives, including the Heart Gallery, Child Abuse Prevention Month, Safe Surrender, Baby Awareness, Black History Month, Holiday College, and National Adoption Day. Through her outreach efforts, she provided information, resources, and support to the community members while consistently demonstrating compassion, empathy, and a genuine commitment to serving others. In 2022, Ms. Miller was promoted to Human Services Supervisor, a role she considers the most rewarding of her career. In this position, she combined her years of administrative expertise, leadership, and technical knowledge to coach, mentor, train, and support employees throughout her department. And as Ms. Miller enters retirement, she looks forward to a slower, more joyful pace of life, beginning with the symbolic act of turning off her alarm clock. Isn't that something? We aspire to that. She plans to spend more time with her children in Seattle, explore California's coastline, enjoy walks, bike rides with her family, and continue serving her community through volunteer work in charitable organizations and local churches. Mrs. Miller faithfully served the Department of Human Services for 35 years, demonstrating unwavering dedication, professionalism, and a deep commitment to public service. She will be greatly missed by her colleagues. Now, therefore, resolved by the Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, State of California, does hereby honor and commend Cherie Miller for her retirement of 35 years, assigned this day by all 5 members and our board chairman, Philip Peters. Congratulations, and thank you so much for influencing and protecting and advancing the lives of our residents in the human condition. Congratulations.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores, for that resolution. And I just want to take a moment to thank Cherie for all the years of service. 35 years is a lifetime when you think about how long of service that is nowadays, because not a lot of people stay in their respective jobs for 30 years, let alone 35 years. Truly amazing. And with Cherie, she gives to her job with a lot of passion, a lot of care to those that she's in service for. And I can't thank her enough for all those years of service. I want to turn it over to Miriam Ocampo, who has a few more words to say about Cherie.
Good morning, Chairman Peters and members of the board. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for this proclamation. It is truly well-deserved. Cherie, as Leto mentioned before, has been a great member of our team. We are going to truly miss her. For over 3 decades, she has not only uplifted those that she supervised, but the members of our community and everyone that worked alongside her. She is going to be missed not only for her commitment, dedication, but her kindness. That is what is one of the things that we truly are going to miss, and her infectious smile, which we can, but we wish her well in her retirement. She has mentored, she has coached a number of our staff, and her impact will remain way beyond her retirement. So, congratulations. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. I really appreciate this award. I'm truly honored to receive this 35-year service award. My journey with Department of Human Service has been filled with growth and opportunities and many programs we offer to our communities. Each experience have shaped me to the person I am today. This milestone reminds me that dedication, hard work, and a willingness to grow open doors I never imagined. Most of all, I was blessed to have worked with incredible managers, supervisors, and coworkers, all of you. And they all became my friends that I would take with me throughout retirement. They all encouraged and supported me throughout my career, and it will remain in my heart forever. I can never thank them enough. I thank my family for always being there and supporting me. My children, they weren't even born when I started here, so they're all grown and adults now, and I really appreciate this opportunity, and thank you all again.
Your beautiful proclamation. Okay, also, within the Department of Human Services, we have Monique Hawkins. Good morning, Monique. Join us. We have a wonderful double congratulations. Monique Hawkins began her dedicated career with the Department of Human Services on December 8th, 1997. Over the course of 29 years, she held the position of Social Services Worker 1, 2, and 3, Social Supervisor 1, and Human Services Program Director. Ms. Hawkins began her career as a Social Service Worker 1 in the Permanent Placement Unit through her exceptional professionalism, compassion, and commitment to serving Kern County families. She quickly advanced through the Social Services Worker Series. She was promoted to Social Services Supervisor 1 on December 1st, 2001, where she oversaw the Court Review Unit. During her tenure as supervisor, she trained, mentored, and supported staff assigned to the court review, court intake, and licensing teams. Her outstanding leadership and unwavering dedication to the department's mission of supporting and empowering Kern County families led her to the promotion to Human Services Program Director on November 24th, 2007. As Human Services Program Director, Ms. Hawkins provided leadership for court services, volunteer family maintenance programs, and in 2011, she assumed responsibility for the Department Emergency Response Division. There, she continued to demonstrate exceptional leadership and commitment to child welfare services. And in March 2018, Ms. Hawkins became the Department Child Welfare Services Ombudsman and Continuous Quality Improvement Program Director for the Program Service Support Bureau. She played a vital role in advancing the department's commitment to child safety. As Ombudsman, she reviewed and assessed more than 900 child fatality and near fatality cases. She worked closely with the state and the local child death review committee in strengthening efforts aimed at preventing child fatalities. In addition, she provided oversight to the child welfare policy, state and federal quality assurance child placement hearings. Throughout her career, Ms. Hawkins' expertise, steady leadership, and collaborative spirit made her a trusted resource and respected leader within the department. She is widely recognized for integrity, professionalism, reliability in operations, and fostered a culture of service, accountability, and compassion. Ms. Hawkins' retirement made the culmination of a distinguished career, dedicated public service. Her lasting contributions will continue to benefit the Department of Human Services, its employees, and the residents of Kern County. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, does hereby honor and commend Monique Hawkins upon her retirement with 29 years of dedicated service, adopted this day, July 14th, signed by all 5 members and our chairman, Philip Peters. And just thank you, that 900 cases, thank you for saving lives and for protecting our children and the most vulnerable. And thank you for your tenure here at Kern County. We appreciate you, wish you the best in your retirement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Supervisor Flores, for that resolution. Good morning again, Board. Retirement seems to be the theme today. I just want to thank Monique for all her wonderful years of service. She obviously, like many of our staff, have challenging jobs, but when you talk about child welfare, it is complex beyond belief, and she did it with courage and firm grip in terms of making sure that we obviously adhere to quality assurance. And I can't thank her enough for just mentoring staff along the way as well. I know her mom and her aunt are in the audience, and I appreciate them for being here today. So thank you. And her sister too. Now I'll turn it over to Nanette Uzzle, who has a few more words to say.
Good morning, Chair and board members. My name is Nanette Uzzle. I'm the Assistant Director for the Program Support Bureau. I have the privilege of recognizing someone who represents the very best of our Department of Human Services. Monique has a unique way of identifying a need and creating a solution. So during her 29 years, Monique created a taking care of business day for families wanting to become resource parents. And it was very beneficial to the families of East Kern. On this particular day, you could take care of all the things you needed to become a resource family. For nearly 3 decades, Monique has been a steady source of support, not only for the families and individuals we serve, but also our staff, our leadership team, and this entire department. Her work has touched countless lives, often quietly and without fanfare, yet always with purpose and integrity. People knew they could depend on her. They knew that Monique was involved. The job would definitely get done thoroughly, thoughtfully, and with care. On a personal note, Monique has been more than a colleague. She's been a mentor, a sounding board, and a friend. Her ability to navigate challenges with grace, her willingness to step in whenever needed, and her unwavering dedication to DHS have left a mark on all of us. She embodies what public service is meant to be. On many occasions, I've called upon Monique to be acting assistant director. She is famous for being the acting, serving as Kern's day-to-day manager for the California Disproportionality Project. This project purpose was to address racial disproportionality and disparities for African American and American Indian families in child welfare. In addition, she's given her time and talent to serve the communities outside of the department as well. Just a little bit about Monique. She's my hero. She's had challenging times. She's a 13-year cancer survivor. She's very family-oriented and dedicated. Her and her sister are the primary caretakers of their aging parents, and at any given moment, she spends as much time as she can with them. I've often wondered how Monique has sustained herself through these 29 years and how she keeps going. But there's days that I'll see her and her team out walking, and I'm like, so that's how she does it. And I know she enjoys making jam and jelly. Her and her sister plan on starting a business. Monique, your presence in this department has made us better. Your commitment has strengthened our mission, and your kindness has enriched our days. We will miss you, your expertise, but mainly your calm strength and the way you make everyone feel valued. Congratulations.
Good morning, Chairman Peters and members of the board. When I began my employment at the Department of Human Services, I never imagined that I would be here for 29 years. I sought employment with the county at the suggestion of a coworker and friend. She called me and all she said was, the county was hiring, go apply. You know the county has good benefits. After passing the test, I was hired as a social service worker 1. At that time, I had no clue what the field of social work entailed, the situations I would encounter, the trauma I would witness and experience. There were moments when I doubted myself and I thought I couldn't continue. I remember one particular moment when I was en route to juvenile court and I prayed, Lord Jesus, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And I heard his voice say, this is why I came. To help the poor, the hurting, to offer love and hope to people who are experiencing struggles of life. From that day forward, my outlook shifted, and my goal became finding ways to bring hope to families and children served by our department, as well as my colleagues. Growing up in an era where you just did what your elders told you, I didn't question my court intake supervisor when he informed me the recruitment notice for social service supervisor was open, and then he said, go apply. I believe that moment marked the point where I began viewing my work at DHS not merely as a job, but as a career. In thinking back over my career, I realized that I have truly been blessed. I've had supervisors and managers who supported my career growth by allowing me to explore areas like legislation and policy development, giving me opportunities to sit at influential tables, and encouraging me to participate and lead various child welfare initiatives. I've also worked alongside some of the most generous, selfless, and dedicated individuals who work tirelessly to ensure the safety, protection, and permanency of our most vulnerable population. Social work is often associated with making a difference in the lives of others, but it's easy to overlook how profoundly others can influence you as well. I have been deeply enriched by the families, children, community partners, and colleagues who have touched my life. I am sincerely appreciative of these meaningful experiences and my time with the Department of Human Services. Thank you.
Monique, I just wanted to say, my grandmother actually was a social worker for DHS as well, and so I got to talk with her quite a bit about the job and learn about just how challenging and difficult it is, but also how really impactful it is to kids in our community. So it's definitely not something that everybody can do, but my hat's off to you and Shuri both, and I just wanted to wish you both a very happy, well-deserved retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to our next item, and that's item number 4, and that will be proclaiming July 19th through 25th as Probation Services Week in Kern County, and that will be with Supervisor Couch.
Motion on the proclamation.
Thank you. Is there a second?
No.
Okay, please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's my honor to present this today. Probation officers, if you think about them, they walk into very difficult situations most of the time. They don't give you a gun and a badge if you're just walking into a nice situation. They have to be part law enforcement, part counselor, part friend, part disciplinarian, and they are in very difficult circumstances, and then they have to take all of that home as well, and they have a life outside of their job. So it's a tough profession, but one that I didn't know much about 14 years ago, but every interaction I have with them leads me to admire them even more. Anyway, it's in that vein that we recognize them today, and we proclaim this week, July 19th, this particular week I'm going to mention, July 19th through the 25th, as Probation Services Week in Kern County, and this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes signed by our Honorable Chair, dated today, July 14th. I'm going to turn this over to Chief Dickinson and let him make a couple of comments. The new chief isn't here. Oh,
I've done that.
I gave this to you and then I took it away. Sorry about that.
Well, thank you, Supervisor Couch, Chairman Peters, members of the board. I thank you as well, and I thank you, not just you, but your staff as well. In my time as chief, I know that things like this come up and there are dates on a calendar, but I can say personally that I know that this board has been invested in the work of the department and my staff, and that goes down through your staff as well and through the county leadership team, so I'm very appreciative of that. And This is a statewide recognition, and if you'll indulge me for just a minute, I would like to just say that I'm making my comments in memory of Marin County Probation Chief Marlon Washington. I was with him last week at a Chiefs conference that concluded on Friday. By Saturday afternoon at 2, we had gotten an email that he had passed away suddenly. Because we're honoring Probation Services Week, my comments are in memory of Chief Washington from Marin County. So the women and the men of the Kern County Probation Department provide wide-ranging, vital public safety services to the community every day. The dedicated work of probation staff is defined by a commitment to a safe community and a sincere desire to reduce the incidence and impact of criminal behavior in Kern County. Probation staff seek to provide accountability and opportunity to those who have had a negative impact on the community through their actions, holding people accountable when necessary to redirect negative behaviors, while also providing opportunities for people to change their thinking and behavior patterns in order for them to become productive, law-abiding citizens are the two principles that drive and motivate the work of the department. The department seeks to accomplish its mission by taking a collaborative, best practice-driven, evidence-based treatment and trauma-informed approach across the spectrum of our duties. Our staff are trained in these principles and practices and regularly work with a multitude of other government agencies, community-based organizations, and dedicated volunteer services to effect positive change in those we are called to work with. Officers must serve as criminal and delinquency sentencing law experts, problem solvers, crime prevention specialists, motivators, educators, and facilitators. Duties of probation officers, youth services officers, program specialists, and support staff include operating in-custody youth detention and commitment programs, providing pre-screen and pretrial services, completing complex sentencing and dispositional reports with recommendations to the Superior Court, operating evidence-based treatment and rehabilitative programs, and supervising adults and youth on probation and post-release supervision in our community. And we're backed by a strong fiscal team and research team as well. And as I close, some of those people are here with me today, so I would like my staff, if they're not already standing, to stand up, if you would mind. And so my biggest thanks is to them. You know, I say as chief in a joking manner that people ask me, what do you do as chief? And I say, not much. And the reason I say that is because that's who does the work of the department. That's who provides the direct services for our community and provides public safety for our community. And I get to watch them do it, and it's a blessing. So thank you very much for this honor. I very much appreciate it. They wouldn't come if I asked them. Yeah.
Okay, our next item is going to be item number 5, and that's a proclamation of July 2026 is Books in Motion, a summer dance and literacy program in Kern County, and that will be with Supervisor Perez. And then we're going to take things just slightly out of order, and there was an issue regarding an agenda item, so we're going to move what would have normally been under board member announcements and reports. There'll be an additional brief presentation immediately following item number 5 from Supervisor Perez as well. So I would entertain a motion.
Okay. Motion on the proclamation as well as certificate.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
How festive and exciting. Hello and welcome. How beautiful. Books in Motion. Oh, I love this. Come on down. Oh, how beautiful. My goodness, look at your duck nose. Oh, precious. You are so beautiful and precious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's really precious. Wow. Come on in, come on in. Oh. How old is she? Oh, she is tiny and precious. Okay. To my colleagues, I want to say that this is really an exciting and precious moment, as you can tell. We are proclaiming July 2026 as Books in Motion, annual summer dance and literacy program in Kern County. Honorable Chair and colleagues, I am pleased to make this presentation before you today to proclaim 2026 July as Books in Motion. For the past 10 years, the library has partnered with the Kern Dance Alliance to present Books in Motions at libraries throughout Kern County. Inspired by beloved children's stories such as Sleeping Beauty, Coco, The Ugly Duckling, but this one's beautiful, The Little Mermaid, and Bluey, professional dancers transform familiar tales into lively performances that encourage children to experience stories in a new and memorable way. It's so cool. By combining literature, movement, and audience participation. Over the last decade, Books in Motion has become a summer tradition for thousands of Kern County families. The program has welcomed more than 20,000 participants and has provided nearly 15,000 free books for children, helping young readers build personal home libraries and discover the joy of reading. This summer, Books in Motion will visit 16 county libraries and present 35 performances throughout the month of July. Each event will include a hands-on craft activity, and every child will receive a free book to take home and enjoy. How marvelous. The library encourages families throughout Kern County to visit their local library and experience this exciting celebration of storytelling, creativity, and community. Thank you for what you do. It is really exciting. I can tell just from the excitement that you're bringing here that it's very, lively and just so artistic. Such great development of culture here in Kern County. It's really beautiful. And look at this little one here. Mike, can the camera catch her?
Her name is Iris.
Oh, her name is Iris. And how old is she?
She's 3.
She's 3. Mike, can you say hi? Can you say hi? You look so beautiful. My goodness. Welcome. This is for you. Proclaiming July 2026 as Books in Motion Month, signed by our Honorable Chair, of course, and presented to you in gratitude and in excitement today.
Good morning, good morning. Of course, the library is here and we have the props, we always do. And this is one of my favorite proclamations, honoring our 10 years with the Kern Dance Alliance and Andrea Hansen behind me and her team and all these beautiful dancers. So I'm gonna show a video and then throw it to Genevieve Agana from the library to talk a little bit about some of the things that are coming up soon.
We're celebrating 10 years of Books in Motion here in Kern County, a unique program that is only found right here in the Central Valley. 2026 marks 10 years of Books in Motion, combining the arts with literacy to encourage children to read throughout Kern County, specifically our kindergarten to 3rd graders. The program brings books to life through performance and dance. They also get to take a dance class, they create a craft that coincides with the book, and at the end, they get to take home their very own free book. And it's all about building at-home libraries so that children continue to read those books, not just tomorrow, but for years to come. And really, there's a return on literacy, because not only will those children read those books, but ideally their children and their children's children will continue to read those books going down the road. We're so thrilled that over the last 10 years, we've given away 17,000 free books. We've served 22,000 children. We've distributed 75 unique children's titles, and we've employed thousands of artists throughout Kern County to make books come to life through the arts. We'd like to thank the Kern County Library for not only their investment in literacy, but also their investment in the arts. They have been the most incredible partner over the last decade, and there's no way we could have done all of this work without them.
Good morning. My name is Genevieve Igana. I'm a senior librarian with the Kern County Library, and I want to thank the board for recognizing Books in Motion. It is a truly unique literacy experience that, as Andrea said, you can only find in one place in the world, and that's right here in Kern County. And now I'm going to say something a little controversial, which is that, look at her face, which is that libraries are not just about lending books. Libraries are about creating readers. And we know that literacy isn't one size fits all. Every child, every human being connects with stories in a different way. Sometimes it's words, sometimes it's pictures, and sometimes it's dancing. So for the last 5 summers, I have seen Books in Motion directly impact our communities. I've seen the shyest kid in the room run up to the stage for a dance lesson. I've seen people come to the library for the first time ever to watch Books in Motion and then immediately sign up for a library card. And I have seen families show up year after year for Books in Motion because it is a beloved family tradition. So every summer, part of our goals are to keep kids engaged in reading and learning when school is out. Books in Motion helps us do exactly that. So here's to 10 years of a beautiful partnership with the Kern Dance Alliance and to many more. And I invite you all, if you can, to join us at Baker this morning at 11 for our next Books in Motion show. I believe it is The Little Mermaid, and that's at Baker today at 11. And now I'm going to turn it over to Andrea Hansen. Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors. It's an honor to be here. My name is Andrea Hansen. I'm the executive director of KDA. And it seems like just yesterday, KDA got a call from Sherry Wade, former library director, asking if we could help her create a literacy and dance program. I didn't think twice. It was a resounding yes. You see, 15 years before Sherry's phone call, I was sitting in an arts administration course at the University of Arizona in Tucson, tasked with creating an arts education program called Books in Motion. As fate would have it, that program was created during my master's degree and found its way to real life in Kern County years later. Since 2016, KDA, the library, and our dedicated, incredible partners have created magic every summer. Families pile into the libraries to watch beloved children's books come to life through dynamic performances created by many of Kern County's most cherished artists. But the magic doesn't just end on stage. It continues to grow as the spectators become performers themselves, dancing alongside real-life characters found in books like The Ugly Duckling and Coco. But the magic does not stop there. It travels with them as they leave the library with their very own copy of the book that just created the most enchanting experience for them. And here's where the magic becomes extra special. Their time at the library created memories that will last a lifetime and an interest in reading that will follow them for the rest of their lives. You see, Books in Motion is not a one-time experience. It's absolutely changing generations in Kern County. We are making a difference in literacy rates, and by investing in the arts, we are finding that it's paying dividends. Today, families remark that Books in Motion children are having the highest reading competencies, and they're spelling bee champions, and the spectators of the past are now today's performers. As of yesterday, at our 25th performance of 50 this summer, Books in Motion has served 23,856 people. We've given away over 20,000 free books, and we've distributed 75 unique titles that you're seeing on the bookshelves behind you. 3 of those, mind you, are international superstar and Bakersfield native principal dancer with the New York City Ballet, Tyler Peck. We've distributed 3 of her children's books as well. That's why today's proclamation naming July as Books in Motion Month in Kern County is so meaningful to us, because you are officially recognizing the magic we collectively create together every single summer. The people standing behind you and before you in the chambers help to churn the Books in Motion engine every summer, from Russo's bookstore ordering thousands of books every summer to the Independent Living Center of Kern County providing American Sign Language services to our deaf and hard of hearing community. From the artists who inspire thousands of children to read to the generous sponsors that support the program every year, we are indebted to the countless volunteers, and our hearts swell when we think of all the families that show up every single summer. Dear supervisors and county leaders, standing before you are superheroes. They care deeply about Kern County, they care about literacy, they care about the arts, and they care about future generations, and they deserve all of the flowers. Above all else, we are deeply grateful to the library, who we work in tandem with every year to make the impossible possible, but more importantly, helping us to create magic. Please join me in wishing Books in Motion a happy 10 years. Thank you. Okay.
Got it. What a crowd. Rupinder and family, please come down and join us here. Councilwoman Manfred as well, Vice Mayor. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hello, nice to see you. How nice. Come on in, come on in. Okay. Here we are. Gather around. Don't be shy. Thank you, Chair, for the ability to be gracious on the agenda. Thank you. Honorable Chairman and colleagues, I would like to take some time this morning to celebrate a very important, critical milestone, the Sikh community here in Bakersfield, California. Today, it is my great honor to present the Certificate of Recognition to the Sikh Temple Bakersfield to commemorate the 40th anniversary of their founding here in Kern County. I want to thank you, Rupinder, for inviting me into this temple over a decade ago, introducing me to families that would become part of my community in perpetuity. A beautiful place with beautiful people. I had the great privilege of being there Sunday to celebrate 4 decades of rapid evolution, sophistication, and success. Incorporated in June 1986 by dedicated Sikh families who worked collectively with the goal of establishing a permanent spiritual home. Permanent spiritual home. The growing Sikh community of Kern County and Sikh Temple Bakersfield has served as a place of worship, of education, community service, profound community service for generations of residents for the last 4 decades, nearly half-century. In 1988, the Sangha, am I saying that right? Or congregation, in my faith tradition terms, established its permanent home located at 2400 South P Street in Bakersfield, right in the heart of the 5th District. Since that time, we are so proud and amazed to see how much the Sikh community has grown and flourished right here in Kern County, all while staying absolutely true and honorable to the virtues that the Sikh faith, such beautiful virtues of unity, service to others, and love of all people. Every year, the Sikh Temple Bakersfield has organized its annual Nagar Kirtan. Is that right? Say it again.
Nagar Kirtan.
Okay, thank you. I won't try that. A public celebration of Sikh faith and values that has grown from a modest community gathering into one of the largest Sikh parades in all of California, attracting thousands of participants and visitors from all parts of the globe. For 40 years, the Sikh Temple Bakersfield has strengthened the social, cultural, educational, and spiritual fabric of Bakersfield and Kern County, serving as a beacon of faith, resilience, and community partnership. I am so delighted, privileged, honored, grateful, full heart to have the opportunity and the privilege to celebrate this milestone with my friends and family, Rupinder, my second father. And I look forward to continuing our deep, growing, and abiding connection to one another, between our families, our communities, and our future together. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Raji, Rupinder, Manpreet. I'm sorry that I don't have all the names here. We have had some extraordinary times together. Extraordinary, and we will continue to do that. I want to thank you for welcoming me, my family, my community as family, for partnering, collaborating, for learning to love one another, to live with our seemingly profound differences.
when we realize just how much we love our families, our children, our community, and of course, our very similar food. We're big fans. Sikh Temple Bakersfield, in honor and celebration, 40th anniversary of the founding of the Sikh Temple Bakersfield, and for exemplary public service and civic contributions for the community and Kern County. Signed by our Honorable Chair and all of my colleagues, including myself. This really is an honor. I was reminded Sunday as I sat down and ate absolutely deliciously prepared food, served with warmth, served with love. You can just feel it. I was reminded of so much beauty that we are so privileged here to share with. God bless you. God bless your community. We love you, and we present to you today an acknowledgement of profound, profound American dreams being realized right before us every moment of every day. God bless you. This is Sue.
She's on our board.
Okay, excellent, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I still remember the first time I saw Manpreet in action, seems like forever ago. Her and a group of young people who really admire her and follow her direction were at a park. We were doing a community event, and there was Manpreet with gloves and trash bags and the most sophisticated trash gathering operation I've ever seen in my life. I said, I've got a lot to learn from this young lady because those around her clearly humble enough, hardworking enough, and gracious enough to take their time with smiles, big smiles, that they were doing something meaningful to contribute to this park, this community, this event. You could feel the energy, the excitement. You could feel leadership, guiding young people on how to think about their community and our duties as members of Kern County. I was so moved, and I continue to be. Manpreet, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the ways in which you have stepped up. I know you're going to share with us here, but I really appreciate you and your beautiful community. Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Perez.
Well, first and foremost, I want to welcome you all and thank you all with our traditional greeting, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Manpreet Kaur. I have the honor of serving as the Vice Mayor for the City of Bakersfield, but more than that, joined here with friends who serve our community and we co-serve, and Supervisor Perez, thank you. I still remember the first time I was attending this same Gurdwara and you were on the stage, and that's the first time I saw a woman in leadership, and I thought, oh wow, like we have local women in leadership here, and I was coming back. No, I must have been much younger than that. But that was the first time I saw a woman in leadership. And then Raji being in leadership, I saw women serving my community in a way that inspired me to come back to my own community and start the Jagada movement. And if the Jagada movement youth can also come, and staff can come up here and join. We have team members from the Jagada Movement nonprofit organization that serves our young people across the state, and their work is kind of being that bridge, and we're that first generation navigating different cultures, coexisting in a community, but cleaning up parks and working on policies like this, where 40 years ago, community members decided that a community center should be built here so that folks like myself could see and feel a place of belonging, and this is personal to me because this is the Gurdwara, or the Sikh place of worship, that I grew up attending. It's where I learned my native language, how to read and write, how I practice speeches on the stage, on that same stage. So this is where my family spent our Sundays and Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, and it's where I learned seva. And behind me is the community I got to know there as well. And you'll hear from a few of them as well. But I want to take a moment also to acknowledge and recognize the architect who built the building that stands today, the late Manjeet Singh Sidhu, who built and designed the first Sikh place of worship. This is the first Sikh place of worship that we built from the ground up. So the others have been buildings that we've purchased and made a home in, but this was the first one we built from the ground up. And that was important because as young kids, we saw those renderings and those drawings, and we felt a part of it. We felt a part of that design and saw it transition from an older building to a newer building. And for me, that embodies the American dream that we all get to be a part of, that Leticia has mentioned as well, Supervisor Perez has mentioned. When we share our cultures, when we share our languages, when we share our histories, we feel more a part of the same fabric in the places that we call home. And so today, for the first time ever in the county of Kern, we've recognized a Sikh place of worship, and that's historic. So thank you for being a part of this history, and we are so incredibly honored. I am honored in a deeply profound personal way, and I want to take a moment to also introduce some of our community members. We have from the Sikh Temple of Bakersfield, Gurpreet Singh here. He's a local businessman as well, but he also was the one that was teaching us was teaching our religion to us through hymns, and so he's going to share a few words with us as well.
Hello everyone. Honorable County Supervisors, guests, and respected Sangat, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today, we are honored to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Sikh Temple of Bakersfield, as we call the Wilson Gurdwara Sahib. For the past 4 decades, our Gurdwara has been a place of worship, unity, and selfless services. Through langar, community service, and the teaching of the Sikh Gurus, we have been blessed to serve people from all backgrounds. We sincerely thank the Kern County Board of Supervisors for recognizing the contributions of the Sikh community. This honor belongs to all the volunteers, families, and supporters who have served with dedication over the past 40 years. May we continue to serve our community with humility, compassion, and unity for many years to come. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you, members of the board. My name is Jagmeet Singh. I'm one of the community organizers with Jakarta Movement. And first, I'd like to take a moment and thank Supervisor Perez for championing our proclamation and recognizing our community in such a beautiful way. The Sikh Temple of Bakersfield has now served the community for over 4 decades. And I myself was born here, right here in Kern County at Kern Medical Center, and I grew up in the Gurdwara. And you know, we have family videos of the old Darbar Hall and before the new Darbar Hall was built. You know, being a part of the Gurdwara and watching the community grow alongside myself. You know, growing up with the community, it's been quite a sight. Going from maybe 20 to 30 families back when I was growing up to now thousands and thousands of Punjabi Sikhs living here is truly a credit to this Gurdwara and this institution that has served as the roots for our community for so long. You know, it's just been such an honor to grow up alongside doctors, public servants, and the like who have come through the Gurdwara to learn how to serve the community with their profession and with their free time and all of their and all of the service that they do. It's been a pillar for our community, and so this is a great moment of pride for us to be recognized in such a way and be welcomed into the Kern County community and feel like we are a part of the community. So I want to thank the board again for recognizing us and for the community members who showed up today. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask Kim Salas to come forward, and I understand we have a message from Dr. Jasmeet Baines.
Yes. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity, Supervisor Perez, on behalf of Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmeet Baines. She asked me to be here to represent her community. She sends her blessings. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but she understands how important this moment is. The recognition that Kern County has provided to this Gurdwara in the 40 years it has served this community faithfully. I have had an opportunity to visit Gurdwaras. I have learned a lot in this role, working for Assemblywoman Dr. Baines, and what this culture provides, what this community provides, and what the Sikh faith provides. So thank you for the leadership that this Gurdwara provides. Thank you for the diversity that we have in this community, and thank you to the Board of Supervisors for recognizing this, and thank you, Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, board. Can I get a picture with me? A picture this way?
Okay, thank you. That takes us to item number 15, and that is public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on this agenda, but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed, may ask questions for clarification, make referral to staff for factual information, or request that staff report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct staff to place matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Again, this is going to be a first time going through this this new policy, so bear with us as we work through it, and I will ask clerk of the board to call our first speaker.
First speaker is Roberta Piazza Gordon.
Good morning. First, I have to say what a wonderful honor it is to be able to view all of the richness of Kern County right here in front of the Board of Supervisors. What a reminder of how important the work is that you do and the diversity and beauty of Kern County. Good morning, my name is Roberta Piazza Gordon. I own Piazza's Pine Cone Inn in Kernville. I have lived alongside the Kern River my entire life. Riverside Park is my backyard, and it's where I played growing up. I played on the swings as a little girl, and in high school, I learned how to kayak with Tom Johnson, the father of modern whitewater kayaking. I've watched floodwaters cover that park several different times. Today, as an innkeeper, it's one of the first places that I take my guests so that they can experience the Kern River easily and safely. This park matters a lot, and I'm asking you to pause the riprap current project before it goes forward. Nobody disputes that the riverbank needs repair. It's been eroded again and again, including twice by the same design in the last 30 years. That track record alone should give us pause. Riprap isn't the safe, proven choice. It isn't even the safest choice, and it's failed us twice. Other communities have rebuilt riverbanks in ways that stop erosion and still welcome people into the water, not wall them off from it. Reno did exactly this on the Truckee River in 2004. It's been done, and it's been done well, and we can do it too. There's a plan And there's plenty of support. There's plenty of community support. There's plenty of government support to help us forward with this. My ask is simple. Pause this project and direct staff to work with the community to evaluate alternatives before any decisions are finalized. Riprap is difficult.
I'm sorry, we're over the time limit, but I appreciate your comments. If you
I'm
could
so
bring them
sorry.
to a close, no problem.
Let me finish by saying we can do better. This deserves our very best thinking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Ance Uiga.
Good morning.
Thank you, Chair Peters and members of the board. First name is Ants, A-N-T-S. Last name is Uiga, U-I-G-A. And just for reference, it's an Estonian name.
Oh, I was wondering,
Yeah, and Ants is the same as Hans and John and Juan and Sean and Ian. So, I moved up to bodfish in 2002. I started fly fishing along the river about 20 years ago, and I enjoy it. I'm out there. I meet people. I watch other people on the river. And even though I'm 77, I'm still fairly limber as far as getting around the rocks and everything like that. So currently, Riverside Park is essentially accessible to me for the full length of it. Some of it's easy. Some of them, children can get down there. There's sandy beaches. Other places, there's roots. There's other places, there's rocks that are placed that are comfortable enough for me to climb down there. And there's obviously a few places where trees and, have to work around those. But I can get there, and it stays that way from now until we start getting the spring thaw. So it's a long time, which offers a lot of time to do that. Now, when I fish in different parts of the river, one of the places I avoid is riprap. It's not safe. I mean, it's at random angles. I'm very careful. I don't want to hurt myself. But I've seen other people go up places on riprap, which I wouldn't even consider. So even though, at my age and my sensibility, I try to be careful, other people are out there climbing on it. And I'm nervous to see things like that because the place is dangerous for people. So I asked again, like Roberta said, can we reconsider a safer alternative and more user-friendly? Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Oh,
Next
I'm sorry.
speaker is Keith Stevens.
Force of habit.
We'll get it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Stevens. I've been a Kernville resident for almost 30 years. I'm also the owner of one of the 3 federally permitted whitewater rafting outfitters licensed to operate on the 60 miles of river from the confluence of the Little Kern and the North Fork down all the way through to Kernville and 20 miles downstream from Lake Isabella. Every year, our company alone hosts many thousands of people eager to take well-needed breaks from their busy lives and partake in rare opportunities to recreate in this gorgeous and unique setting that is the Kern River Valley, and enjoy adventures that without professional companies dedicated to providing these services, they'd be unable to experience. It's undeniable that the Kern River offers world-class recreational opportunities for fishing, camping, and whitewater sports, including rafting and kayaking. The rare and unique quality of the recreation opportunities the Kern River offers, coupled with the amenities available in and around Kernville, draw tens of thousands of recreational seekers, young and old, not only from the vast population in Southern California and other places in our great country, but from countries all over the world. And the demand for these recreational opportunities is growing every year. The centerpiece for the visitors to the Kern River Valley and the Kern River itself is the town of Kernville, and the heart of Kernville is Riverside Park. Kernville is the staging area for those who, accompanied by friends and family, have traveled oftentimes long distances to enjoy fishing, rafting, kayaking, canoeing, and just a chance to relax. And Riverside Park offers the first opportunity visitors have to enjoy the beauty of the Kern River and the hospitality of not just Kernville, but of Kern County itself. Riverside Park offers an access on the upstream side for boaters of every persuasion to enter and exit the river. Fishing enthusiasts flock to the shoreline to share the sport with their young ones, enjoy a well-deserved day of rest and relaxation, and hopefully hook up with a couple of rainbow trout. I'll cut through because I'm not going to make it out 5 seconds. It's my fervent opinion that this riprap project, if implemented, will not only be aesthetically unpleasant and unworthy of the impression Kern County wants to put forward to visitors of this precious destination, but will also present genuine hazards to the many thousands of yearly visitors who negotiate the sharp, unstable surface it would present as they are drawn to the shoreline. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Andy Hensel.
Mr. Chairman, can I see? This is not on our agenda today, the topic that was just discussed, correct? Okay.
Switching over to election integrity. Good morning, board and staff. I'm Andy Hensel, Hensel. Headline, DOJ puts election officials on notice. Top officials in all states will be criminally prosecuted for allowing non-citizens and other non-qualified voters in the 2026 midterms. One letter obtained by Hawaii Chief Election Officer Scott Nago stated, state election officers, including chief election officer in the state, could be criminally prosecuted for aiding and abetting violations. It added that knowingly keeping non-citizens on the rolls, counting their ballots, would amount to procurement, casting, tabulation of ballots known to be false. States that received the letters reportedly include Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Oregon, and others, probably us. Some were given just 5 days to explain their compliance steps. This is not a suggestion. This is a warning shot across the bow of any election official who thinks that they can look the other way while non-citizens or other unqualified registrants participate in federal elections. For months, the DOJ Civil Rights Division under Harmit Dillon has been aggressively pursuing voter roll maintenance. The department has sued multiple states for failing to produce full voter registration lists and has requested data from all 50 states to identify non-citizens, deceased voters, and other ineligible voters. Concerned Citizens urges the Board of Supervisors to request the ROV to avoid legal jeopardy and reach out to Homeland Security to analyze our voter rolls for removal of non-citizens and other non-qualified voters, which at last estimate we calculated to be 24% of the voter roll. We were shocked at 24%. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But before we call our next speaker, I just wanted to come back and address some of the comments on Riverside Park. I think that there is maybe some misinformation or maybe not complete information that's going around in the community about what this project is. And, you know, I'm certainly not an engineer. I am not, certainly not claiming to be, but the analysis done by our general services, by the federal government, this is all done to their engineering specifications for stabilizing and protecting the riverbank. And to say that it's failed, I would maybe characterize that as saying, you know, if a guardrail needs to be replaced because it was hit by a car, I mean, yeah, it may have failed, but it needs to be replaced. It's done its job in protecting what it was supposed to, and that's kind of my understanding of the previous projects that were done to stabilize the bank. You know, we saw a massive flood, river rise of I think 14 feet in 2023. And the park is still there. It did its job in stabilizing the bank and protecting the park, and now reinvestment has been made to improve the park, get it back to, you know, even better shape than it was before. So I definitely welcome the conversation, and I'd like to discuss that moving forward. And I welcome any of you to please leave your contact info with my office. I'd be happy to sit down with you and discuss how we can move forward, but also this is, according to meteorologists, supposed to be a super El Nino year. We don't know what we're going to see as far as flooding, and this is an opportunity to get that work done with FEMA paying for that work to be done to those specifications that it was previously done to help protect that park. So I think that county staff is doing everything that they can to be fiscally responsible and ensure that that park is protected for the community. And, maybe there's different visions for the long term, and that can be something that I would welcome that discussion and would be happy to sit down with you and look at. But I just want to make sure that we're understanding the full picture of what this project would mean. So I would welcome any of you to go up to my office up on the 5th floor and leave your contact info, and I'd be happy to sit down with you. Sorry, this is our new system, and we're under the new SB 707. We're trying to work through this, but
We're happy to be part of the informational process.
absolutely, and this will be coming back as well, I believe, later this month for a more robust discussion as well. Thank you. So, if we could call our next speaker.
Next speaker, Dennis McLean.
Dennis McLean, MCLEAN, morning chairman and supervisors. DOJ puts election officials on notice. Top officials in all states can be criminally prosecuted for allowing non-citizens to vote in the 2026 midterms. Page 1 in the handout we gave you is a letter from U.S. Department of Justice to Scott Nagel, Hawaiian Chief Election Officer, dated July 7, 2026. It states, federal law mandates that states and local election officials properly maintain election records and undertake certain actions to ensure that only U.S. eligible citizens cast votes in elections for federal office. The NVARA makes it a crime for an election official in a federal election to knowingly and willingly deprive, default, or attempt to deprive or defraud the residents of a state of a fair of impartial conducted election process. Any action to knowingly retain non-citizens on state voter roll list and counting them are in violation of Section 12(2)B of the NVRA. Concerned citizen urges the board to request our ROV, Amy Espinoza, to reach out to Homeland Security to analyze our voter rolls for non-citizens and avoid legal jeopardy. And I want to close in saying that I appreciate the work our libraries do, but the way our school system is, they need to get involved to help our children to read and write. It's a shameful thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Don Miller.
Good morning, Chairman Peters, ladies and gentlemen of the board and staff. You have my name, so I'll begin. Tuesday, November 2nd is the day of the upcoming general election. I'd like to talk about two other additional days and what transpires between them. Those days are Monday, October 5th and Tuesday, November 10th, because October 5th is the day distribution of vote-by-mail ballots begin at the United States Postal Service. An agency of the federal government that previously had minimal involvement in elections now has a major role. For 29 days prior to Election Day, postal workers deliver ballots and receive ballots for delivery back to the elections office, all without any citizen oversight or observation. In other words, there's no chain of custody. When election law was altered to require ballots to be mailed to every voter, they did not allow for chain of custody, leaving citizens nothing but blind faith that postal workers will act with honor and integrity. But what I consider far worse than those 29 days prior to November 2nd is the 9 days following. November 10th is the last day for the elections office to receive and count ballots returned by mail with a proper postmark. This period is when absolutely preposterous anomalies have occurred in elections here in California and nationwide. Huge spikes depicted on charts showing hundreds or thousands of nearly consecutive votes for one candidate to make a come-from-behind win. What goes on behind the steel fences and locked doors of the post office buildings in those 9 days? We do know that any envelope a postal worker has parked as received on time is put on a truck and sent directly to the election office to be counted. Am I saying I know there are rooms behind those locked fences and doors where ballots for that lucky candidate are being filled out, postmarked, and delivered right into the election office? No, I'm not, because in fact, nobody knows what's going on in there. The chain of custody no longer exists because state law has abandoned it. I encourage the board to restore, either through county law or regulation, by enforcing citizens' observation rights at post offices and anywhere ballots pass between Kern citizens and the election office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Charles Shin.
I agree with you guys, by the way. Good morning, board members, chairman of the board. I am Charles Shin, S-H-I-N-N, concerned citizen. Article from Gateway Pundit, Jim Hoft. DOJ puts election officials on notice. Top officials in all states can be criminally prosecuted for allowing non-citizens to vote in the 2026 midterms. Department of Justice has sent formal letters to elections officials to all 50 states and the District of Columbia warning that top state election leaders, including chief election officers, face criminal prosecution if they knowingly keep non-citizens on the voter rolls, send them ballots, or count their votes in federal elections. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon of the Civil Rights Division signed these letters. They cite multiple federal statutes, including the National Voter Rights Act, the Help America Vote Act, and others that require accurate voter rolls to prohibit non-citizens from voting in federal elections. Quote, the department sent these letters to all 50 states and the District of Columbia asking for voluntary compliance in a timely manner with their obligations under federal law to ensure only citizens vote in federal elections, unquote. The letter makes it clear that, quote, knowingly retaining non-citizens, unquote, on statewide lists and allowing them to receive or cast votes constitutes aiding and abetting violations that can lead to criminal charges against election officials themselves. Concerned citizens urge the board to request of the ROV to reach out to Homeland Security to analyze our voter registration rolls for non-citizen removal and avoid legal jeopardy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Robbie Miller.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the board. I'm here today because I believe it's time for our community to adopt a spay and neuter ordinance. I understand one of the biggest concerns is enforcement. People say animal control doesn't have enough officers to enforce another law. I agree, we don't have enough staff, but that's not really the point. We have speeding laws, and not everyone who speeds gets a ticket. The purpose of a law isn't to catch every violator. It's to set a community standard and give law enforcement another tool when they need it. A spay and neuter ordinance is no different. It's another tool that animal control can use when appropriate, not something that has to be enforced in every situation. For years, we have focused on voluntary spay and neuter. We've invested in education, expanded access to affordable services, and encouraged responsible pet ownership. Those efforts have helped, and they should absolutely continue, but we're still facing a severe overpet population crisis. Every year in Kern County, approximately 30,000 dogs and cats are spayed or neutered. Yet when I check with our local shelters, only about 10% of those animals entering the shelter systems are already fixed. To me, that's strong evidence that the animals being spayed and neutered are largely staying out of our shelters. It shows these programs work, but it also shows we need to reach the people who still aren't participating. No one is saying the ordinance will solve everything, but I do believe it's one more tool that can help reduce unwanted litters and move us in the right direction. And if animal control chooses to use the tool, I'll be standing behind them, not because I want to punish people, but because I want fewer animals suffering on our streets, fewer unwanted litters, and fewer dogs and cats entering our shelter. At some point, we have to recognize that education alone isn't enough. It's time to give our community another tool to address the crisis.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Nadine Escalante.
Just 1 second before our next speaker. So I know this is something that's been brought up a couple times with the spay and neuter ordinance. Is this something that maybe we could just have a discussion for, or I guess maybe to look at a future board date where we could bring that back and have a little bit more robust discussion with our Director of Animal Services as well?
Mr. Chairman, we'd be happy to do that. There's also a committee that looks at ordinances. I believe Supervisor Parlier is on that committee as well. So I think they've discussed it in the past, but we're happy to do that if that's the direction of the board.
Okay. Well, he's not here today, but it's like the old saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So sounds like it would be a good thing to refer to Supervisor Parlier to bring a referral back to the board.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Happily.
Okay, if we could have our next speaker, please.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. The confusion with the new implementation that you guys have is very frustrating. I came in this morning, I saw the sign posted in June saying that we would be signing in, and then this morning we were checked in online. We were not told, because I've spoken to our ACLU coalition, nobody was told that we had to sign up ahead of time to talk about public comments and an agenda item. So when I came up here and asked about item number 60, this was not explained. And so when I tried to speak on item number 60, where the DA is asking for money to take care of child abuse children, that I don't have the ability to speak on it because you already passed the consent for the agenda without even giving the community the opportunity to speak up and say, we would like item number 60 to be removed off of the agenda. The way the implementation of your new system should have been publicly put out to the community, not just on the county website. If we as an individual sign up for the agendas, which I do, but it's on my junk email, I have to now put it on my other email so I can see it. We have sent out text messages to inform the community of your new process because this is intentionally preventing community members from coming here and talking about real situations. And we have a group of people that come here every month and manipulate time off of everybody else's ability to speak. How is this going to be addressed? So item number 60, the community would like input on that.
Yeah, so I'd like to respond to that. So this is certainly not anything that's being done by this board to discourage public speakers. And this is certainly not something that's been prevented from being shared with the public. In fact, we had an entire item and an entire presentation by staff at this meeting about this. We've got QR codes in the back, county staff I see in the back trying to help people with this. Might there have been a hiccup this morning being our first time ever trying to implement this new system that was required of us by state law? Could be, but if there were some comments that you would like to provide on the consent agenda, I asked for consent speakers even after our two speakers spoke. It wasn't about the consent agenda. We still allowed them to speak anyway because we're all trying to figure the system out. I called a final time for consent agenda speakers. There was an opportunity. If there's comments you would still like to provide on the consent agenda, we could definitely reconsider that item if you would like to come down and provide some comments on it. we'd be happy to hear those. I don't appreciate the insinuation that anybody's being prevented from speaking. We're trying to get all the public comment we can, and this is a new system, again, that's been required of us to implement, and we're trying to figure it out. So if you would like to provide some comments, I'd be happy to hear them.
As a community member here in Kern County, also with the ACLU Criminal Justice Coalition, we would like to have item number 60 removed from the agenda. We would like to have a community meeting about the DA asking for funding, retroactive funding, to provide services to children that have been sexually abused. The DA and the organization, Bakersfield Recovery Services, does not have the proper training to give these children the services that they need. Bakersfield Recovery Services only focuses on substance abuse. They do not deal with domestic violence. They don't have the proper training, nor do they have the proper training to deal with children that have been sexually abused. We want children that have been sexually abused to actually get the right therapy that they need from psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors that have a degree in this, an education in this field, not somebody who deals in substance abuse. We want to save these children's lives. As a child that was sexually abused in a Kern County Child Protective Services system, I know that my life is 1,000 times better because of therapy. But I see lots of other children in this community who have never got therapy that are now addicted to substances. We want to prevent that. Having the DA having an impact on this is not the correct role. She is the DA. She's supposed to be prosecuting crimes. She didn't even protect her own niece. And this is a major issue with everybody in the community. When I went out canvassing, there are so many people who are so irritated with her that they don't even want to vote. They are so disgusted with the DA. This needs to be brought up at another Board of Supervisors meeting for the entire public to speak on.
Okay, so item number 60 isn't about selecting any kind of vendor. This is strictly about accepting a $500,000 grant from the federal government. But I mean, it's still within the authority of the board to reconsider the item if the board so chooses. I don't know if anybody would like to chime in, or if we would just like to hear the next speaker.
Supervisor Peters, what is the item doing? If the board votes yes to pass this matter, what then, maybe I should ask counsel, what is that authorizing? DA has broad scope and power as an elected official, and so doesn't have to ask this board for a whole host of things. But I'm curious where this matter falls within that spectrum of process and, you know, the relationship with the county.
Yeah, I believe this, Supervisor Perez through the chair, this is a grant agreement that the DA gets every year, or I'm not sure if it's annual or ever so often. I believe it's an annual grant that does pay for these types of services. It is retroactive, which means she's already applied for it and received it, but your board generally has to bless that. Usually there are certifications and a resolution that the board would have to approve in order to finalize everything, and that's what this is.
Okay.
My concern with pulling it and reconsidering it is the DA's not here at this time, and there's probably timeframes on accepting the grant.
Can I
and
ask?
Unfortunately, they're not here.
I see. Can I ask, what we're doing is, what are we doing? The money's been received already, it sounds like. This sounds like a sort of bureaucratic procedure. Do you know why the matter wasn't handled in a timely fashion? So that forcing us into going retroactive?
I know that I can't tell you those specifics. I mean, that'd be for the DA to respond. But I do know that it's not uncommon for retroactive grant applications to come before your board because of the way the grant rolls out and the timing. And a lot of times there's just not a lot of time to get all the paperwork done and get it back before your board before the deadline to apply passes. So I'm assuming it's something to do with that, but I don't know the specific details of that.
But they have the money already?
I don't know if they have the money yet.
Oh, I thought you
or
said
if
they received the money. I'm so sorry.
They've applied for the grant, and I don't know if they've already received the money yet.
I see. They've applied already. And we're like we're like the big bureaucratic umbrella that has to pass this through.
Yeah,
But otherwise, it doesn't look like we have much discretion or jurisdiction.
Well, that's not quite true. You do have the discretion to approve the retroactively approve that, the district attorney applying for the grant. Because every department who applies for a grant generally has to come before your board for authorization to do that. A lot of times they do come retroactive. But generally with those grant applications is a resolution that your board has to authorize saying that you will support the grant
Got
and the
it.
terms of the grant. And that's what this is.
Understood. That's very helpful. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Can I just
Chairman?
say,
Sorry,
Couch.
I just want to make sure, what Ms. Gill, what you were asking to do, approval of this item does not preclude you from doing that.
okay.
Am I correct?
I wanted to clarify one thing.
Well,
That what is-
hang on.
Okay, go ahead.
She would like, what I heard you say was you would like to meet with the DA or have some input into vendor choices and types of treatment and that sort of thing.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with that. Taking an action on this, which we've already done, does not preclude you from doing exactly what you just said you wanted to do.
Okay, one
Am I,
question.
let me make sure I am correct about that. Am I right?
That's how it looks to me from looking at this item.
That's
that
how I
this is
read it.
Just to receive the funds so that the DA can then go out and hire and pay whoever the vendor is these funds to provide those services.
Thank you.
But
All right,
the-
if you'd like to add something, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. The email, the letter that the DA sent you on July 14th, the part that you guys put in here on the agenda, what you left out was the child advocacy and that this was pertaining to children and youth that are victims of abuse and sexual assault. So this is misleading to the community. This is what we're concerned about.
Well, I'm reading it in paragraph 2.
I have the email right here. You
I
want
have it right here.
Okay, well, it doesn't say everything. It says only the top portion of the email on your agenda. The second paragraph is not on the agenda. So doesn't, this paragraph number 60 says nothing about child and youth sexual abuse. This only says
Well, but I'm
services
sorry,
for
but
victims.
what you're describing is typical of every single item on every single agenda. You see a general description of the item, and if you're online, you can click on that link and see the entire board letter. Or you could call and say, could you please print that board letter out and send it to me? You can get that information, it's there, but you're not gonna see it in the agenda. If we printed out the agenda for you and every board letter, it'd be this tall.
That's not what we're asking.
Okay.
We're just asking for victims to be represented. And this is typical of just how politics are in the US.
All right, okay, we have a
So
difference
don't
of
wanna
opinion
listen to
because this
sexual
is
assault
does not
victims.
have anything to do with what you just said. So thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, I read the same way. It says right here on the agenda, services for victims of crime. I mean, it doesn't go into specifics, but Supervisor Flores?
Chairman, thank you. As we navigate the new protocols, not to further complicate it, but since the situation's arisen, I need to ask for legal clarification from County Council, should this happen in the future. Irrespective of the topics or the department, once this board takes action and we vote on a consent agenda item, that item's approved. So what are the mechanisms if someone comes and requests that we reconsider it? How does that reconsideration process look in terms of sequencing and in terms of the vote that we've already taken?
Understood. Yes, and that's somewhat what I referred to earlier, is that at this point you did approve the item, and had someone from the DA's office been here, they then left. So in fairness, it's not fair to reconsider an item after they've already left because it's been approved.
Got it. But legally, does this board have the authority to reconsider an item once we've passed it?
Yes, your board does have that authority. However, taking all that into consideration, it would be best to do that at a time where you can push it off to another, maybe the PM agenda, notify the DA so they can come back and let them know that it's being reconsidered.
Okay, thank you.
Rather than doing it without them being here to respond.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
Yeah, but, sure, but real quick, just regardless, I'm not asking for anything to be reconsidered. This is a new process. The accusation was put out that we didn't give the public a chance to adequately address it. So I was just trying to give this board a chance to hear those comments and respond as this board may deem appropriate. So,
Thank you, Chairman.
Again,
say
this is a
something?
new process and a new exercise for us. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. Here's my concern with those comments. I watched Ms. Escalante come down with the intention of speaking on item number 60. I have not spoken about her with that item, so I wasn't aware what she was going to say. But I saw her make that attempt. There's confusion. There's a new system. I think it was very confusing, the direction that was given, not because of any intention or not because we've done anything wrong. We are trying to figure out this system as well, I promise you. But I do believe there was legitimate good faith confusion where Ms. Escalante believed that there would be a point at which she could talk about item number 60. And I don't know that she realized we passed it all in the, or we included it in the consent agenda item. So that's honestly my concern at this point procedurally, is I feel like a member of the community made a good faith attempt to speak on an item and it was extremely confusing. I didn't even know we were gonna do public comment that way, those specific details as it rolled out this morning. So that's where I'm concerned. One, as it relates to procedures moving forward. Less so on this item, I'll be honest, because the district attorney is an elected official and has broad capacity and power, as does our sheriff, to make these kind of determinations. That's the point at which the community decides what human being they want making those decisions is an election for the district attorney. And once that occurs, because she's elected, has incredible broad power with who she wants to work with. We cannot force her to work with people she doesn't want to work with. That doesn't make any sense and it wouldn't work. So that's where I'm at, if I could just include those thoughts, Peters.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, I definitely agree that there might have been some confusion, but that's why I wanted to go through this exercise to make sure that that those were heard, and that's something that, again, we'll work on going forward and just making sure that's conveyed. Again, this is a new system for all of us, and it's going to take some time for us to learn the procedure, but we'll make sure moving forward that everybody understands what item we're on and that they have to register to speak on particular items. The city of Bakersfield can do it, by God, we can too.
Can I ask a bigger question?
Sure.
Can I ask a bigger question? Peter?
Sure.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Counsel, could you help, please? I feel like there are members of the public, I talk to them all the time. In particular, this issue, because it's been in the press and it's been bantered about a bit, about our district attorney in particular and who she chooses or who she doesn't choose. I understand there are technical procedural legalities. I understand that's one issue. I'm not talking about those issues. We're working through those. Department heads sometimes late. You explained that very reasonably. But could you give us, in your best sense, and the public, a sense of what it is we have jurisdiction over when it comes to the district attorney's office? And, you know, do we have the ability to debate in this place who and why she's choosing for certain services? I have not seen that in the past, but I'd like some clarity for the public about what really our role is in managing or being the umbrella operation when you have elected officials like Donnie Youngblood and Cindy Zimmer, who are largely independent.
Kind of Supervisor Price through the chair, in a nutshell, both the sheriff and the district attorney, they have prosecutorial and investigative authority over many aspects of what they do. What the board has control over is budget, and that includes approving contracts. They still have to go through the procurement process and follow county processes and procedures, and those come to your board for approval, just like this item has come to your board for approval. But in respect to doing their core functions of their job, which is, in the DA's case, prosecutorial and investigative, the board cannot interfere with those actions.
Would you say the selection of the services for either be it this particular issue that was indicated today, sex abuse or sex assault, or any subject matter, do we have any ability to direct those investigations, or do we have any authority there at all?
When you say direct those investigations,
Who can you partner with? We like these groups, we don't think like these other groups.
the DA was still required to go through the competitive process, which they did, and that's when they chose Bakersfield Recovery Services.
Okay.
And it was there's different levels of a competitive process that was done at a more informal level, which followed our policies and procedures. And then the DA was able to choose who they thought was the best after going through that. And they worked in conjunction with our purchasing division to choose who was the best candidate through that process. And that all was done in concurrence with our purchasing agent. And that particular item did not come before your board for
Okay.
approval.
Thank you for your clarity. I hope that's helpful. It's confusing for us too often, I promise you, but I hope that's helpful. Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Okay, thank you. I will defer to our clerk of the board.
Our last speaker is Gary Emmenheiser.
She registered? I filled out the form and she said it showed complete for my speaking.
Okay.
Gary is our 10th speaker for public presentations.
Okay, so then, is Paul Infesti then after the 10 number? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, what number was he?
15.
Oh, okay, so after this speaker, there are
Well,
technically
there were
5
two
more.
that spoke with consent that weren't, but on this one, he would be 13.
So on this, and then is he the last one registered? Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Peters and Board. I too I'm part of the Kernville community, newcomer compared to some of my neighbors. I've only been there 20 years, homeowner. Concerned about the riprap until I did not know what riprap was until I saw the dam go in. Huge, sharp chunks. I too am asking for that project to be paused of lining our bank with the riprap. It's dangerous to walk on, and it's a part of the community that is beautiful and accessible, and the river is finally calm when it gets to our town. And as far as the confusion about what's going on, or as you refer to it, misinformation, we'd love for you to either come up to Kernville or let us know when to come to your office. We'll gladly be there.
Outstanding. Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any callers on the phones?
We do not.
Okay. So, this is the hard part. So we have a new system that we're supposed to follow under this new law. This is the protocol. Yeah, so I would just ask for guidance on how best to proceed, maybe from our county council.
Okay, I'm sorry, I may have missed.
Sorry,
What are you asking for?
we've hit the 10 speaker mark that we have said since this policy was introduced.
It's your prerogative. You can choose to extend those limits, or you don't have to, but whatever amount of time you provide to those in person, you have to also provide to those online. I understand there's none online, so that would not apply, but it is the chair's prerogative.
Okay. I mean, it would be my preference that we implement this system as we're trying to work through it, but I don't want to deprive anybody of an opportunity to speak that has taken the time to come down here. So I would just ask our clerk of the board, maybe if we can accommodate now and remind the public that for the time being, we're trying to implement this system, and just as a matter of legal compliance, we have to afford the same opportunities for people in person as we do on the phones, and that requires some coordination on the front end that may not make extemporaneously increasing the limit of speakers possible. I think it would be possible at this point to hear from our other speakers.
Next speaker, Joseph D. Pietro.
Thank you for reconsidering or letting me speak. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Joseph DePietro. I have degrees in accounting and sustainability from San Diego State University, and I have spent 5 seasons working as a river guide on the Kern River. I've seen firsthand both the incredible value this river brings to Kernville and the responsibility we have to make it safer and more sustainable. Although not on the agenda today, maybe soon, I believe that this issue is incredibly pertinent to the county. There's not enough time to get into everything today, but we'll get our information to you on the 5th floor after this meeting to elucidate the matter further. I want to start by saying that I understand the need for emergency stabilization. Protecting the riverbank, protecting the park, and improving public safety are goals that everyone in this room should share. From a financial perspective, we should evaluate this decision the same way we evaluate any major investment, not just by the upfront cost, but by the long-term value it creates and the future costs that it avoids. This isn't simply a matter of funding an emergency repair, it's a matter of allocating public resources in a way that creates lasting value for the county itself and the Kern River Valley. Kernville already has a tourism-based economy built around the Kern River, and visitors support rafting companies, restaurants, lodging, events, and local businesses. And Riverside Park is not just a piece of land along the river, it's an economic asset and an opportunity for a brighter future for this community. We're currently in a unique position. We have federal resources, local support, existing engineering concepts, and experienced professionals ready and willing to help find the best solution. This is an opportunity for Kern County to be a leader in river safety, responsible investment, and community development. I respectfully ask the board to delay execution of the current stabilization plan long enough to allow a deeper discussion with county staff, engineers, and community stakeholders about how we can achieve immediate stabilization goals while preserving the long-term value of Riverside Park. As for the guardrail comment, why would we have a flimsy guardrail that needs to be replaced as opposed to like a concrete barrier that doesn't need to be replaced if they cost similarly or about the same? The engineering spec the county is using is a Caltrans spec, more appropriate for a highway, not a county park with river access. Doing this right the first time is the most responsible decision we can make for taxpayers, visitors, and for everyone who calls the Kern River Valley home. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker, Rajal Singh.
Not seeing.
Next speaker, Paul Infesti.
Who just walked out. And that's it. Okay, well, that takes us to the end of our rather confusing public presentation portion. But we will move now to board member announcements or reports.
I have one.
Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. I just wanted to announce to the public that my office is coordinating with the Attorney General's office, as well as Senator Schiff's office, as well as Supervisor Parlier's office, to find time and availability for our introduction to the facility in Cal City. We hope to become partners and friends in improving this process and doing our part as county and the public to assist in any way that we can. But that coordination is happening, again, between Senator Schiff's office, the Attorney General, my office, as well as Supervisor Chris Parlier's office. I'm not sure if that supervisor will be able to go with us, but we are certainly in communication with them, and we'll keep you updated. Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, I would like to bring up something. There was an Assembly joint resolution that was co-authored by Assembly members Castillo, Hadwick, Lackey, Macedo, Patterson, and Sanchez, and introduced by then Assembly member Gallagher, now Congressman Gallagher. But I was reached out to and asked to share this with the board and bring it forward as something that the board may or may not want to consider. But this Assembly joint resolution would look at the idea of separating California into 2 different states. I don't have my arms completely around the what exactly this would do, but I would like to just in full transparency and consideration for the rest of the board, share this information with our CAO and maybe refer it back to for this board to get a report on it and consider whether or not they would like to weigh in one way or another.
Mr. Chairman, we'd be happy to do that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion Motion is approved, all ayes.
Okay, thank you. And I believe that takes us to the end of our AM agenda, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn now to closed session.
Motion adjourned. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.